Today, in terms of the number of events, 17 medal events in total yesterday. In the women's duet artistic swimming, another great performance from China in the pool. Huang Shechen and Sun Wenyan winning silver, finishing just behind the Russian Olympic Committee. Russia really have dominated this sport in recent years, going back all the way to the 2000 Sydney Olympics. They've won every single gold medal, so good for China even to just get a medal behind Russia. Both of these stars for China have won 5 Olympic medals now, so they've got great careers, but they've never won a gold. The other reason that that event actually made the headlines, the artistic swimming, was because a couple of the members of the Greek team actually tested positive for COVID over the last day or so here in Tokyo, and they were then pulled out of the event. They had to withdraw, they weren't allowed to compete, and the whole team, so 12 people here, not just the athletes but also the coaches, have had to go into self-isolation. So that was an event that really was affected by COVID yesterday. We're also watching out for the table tennis today. China are in the final of both the team table tennis competitions. On the men's side, Ma Long, Fan Zhendong and Zhu Jin are the overwhelming favourites to win the gold today. They beat South Korea really comfortably 3-0 in the semi-final yesterday, and they will face Germany in the final a bit later. On the women's side, they also won 3-0 yesterday, a great performance against Germany, and they will face Japan, the host, in the final. Should be an interesting one, that one. China against Japan in the women's team table tennis final. And a short time ago today, inside this magnificent Japan National Stadium, just here behind me in the sunshine, in the triple jump, Zhu Yaming won silver, his personal best of 17.57 meters, and that also is a record for the Chinese delegation here at these games. So more success today here at the Olympics.
Indeed. Well, Adam, Japanese health authorities say COVID-19 infections are increasing at an unprecedented rate. How are authorities coping with it?
Yeah, that is the significant worry, and that worry has risen over the last couple of days here because the numbers are starting to tick upwards. Let's start inside the bubble, the so-called bubble here at the Olympic Games. There have been 31 new positive cases of Games-related personnel in the last 24 hours, including one more member from the 24 hours previously of that Greek artistic swimming team that I spoke a little bit before. So they are all in self-isolation now, but the IOC has pointed to the fact that it's done over 540,000 PCR tests on athletes here at the Games, and only 111 have come back positive. That's a percentage of 0.02%. So they're quite happy with the numbers they're seeing, relatively low numbers inside the so-called bubble. So everyone who's here to do with the Games, the athletes, the coaches, the media like us, everyone else who's working at the Games. But it's outside of that bubble where the worry is starting to push upwards, because cases have risen above 4,000 for the second time in the last week, the highest figures they've ever seen in Tokyo for new positive COVID cases. And also the rules are starting to change in response and in reaction to that by health officials. They're now saying that anyone with a positive COVID test does not automatically go to hospital for treatment. Instead, they only go to hospital to take up a hospital bed if they have very serious symptoms. So that means that most people, if they have minor symptoms or no symptoms at all, they will stay at home, because those hospital beds in the area's hospitals are starting to fill up. And also in the last day or so, we've seen the state of emergency, the so-called state of emergency here in Tokyo, which governs what people are and aren't allowed to do, has been expanded to include a slightly larger area outside of the main city. So 3 prefectures that border Tokyo have been included in those state of emergency measures as well. So things starting to get a little bit more serious here. We've started to see some more protests as well from the population here in Tokyo. We're still overwhelmingly against the Games, even though we're coming down to the last few days before the closing ceremony. And I think this is going to make many more headlines in the days to come.
All right, thank you very, very much, Adam Hunt, reporting from Tokyo.